Here's how to build a website AI agent in 13 minutes using N8N. I find most people overcomplicate the hell out of it. All you really need is a couple of minutes of work and some elbow grease. My name's Nick, by the way. I scaled my own AI automation agency to $72,000 a month using no-code tools like N8N and Make.com. My whole thing is cutting the fluff, so let's get right into it. So here's the AI agent right here. As you can see, it's very simple. We have a simple AI agent flow with a chat message that goes into this decision maker, which calls the OpenAI chat model, stores context in the window buffer memory, and then we have a few tools that we're calling: the Google Calendar create event, Google Calendar get all event. That's actually not very important. There's a million and one ways to set up agents. The thing I want to impress upon you is this looks simple, but in reality, when you use AI agents in business, they tend to be very simple because businesses in practice don't really use these massive waterfall AI agents that you guys are probably seeing with like a million and one nodes where an AI agent calls another AI agent and that AI agent calls another AI agent. And the reason why is because the output tends to be a lot less predictable and a lot less consistent. And if you're a business, your revenue is driven by consistency. You want to constrain the total realm of outputs down to something manageable. So this in practice is typically what automations that make money look like, at least the AI agent forms. So set your timer. Let me show you how to build an actual AI agent, just like you saw in the intro, in just a few seconds. First things first, open up a new N8N workflow, click add first step, type the term agent, then open it. You're good to go. Next up, select a chat model. In our case, we're going to be using the OpenAI chat model, and I'm just going to be using the default functionality to get you up and running as quickly as possible. Going from 0 to 1 really is the most important thing. Then under memory, select window buffer memory, set context window length to 10. You can actually get away with substantially longer because of a trick I'm about to show you. Now you can chat with this just like you chat with any model. Click the chat button, hey, how's it going? And you'll see that GPT-4o Mini will give you a response. But the really cool thing is if you go to when chat message received over here, and you select make chat publicly available to on, what you have here is you have a chat URL that you can actually just link to directly. Now you have a hosted instance where you can talk to the model. Now, the question is, how do we take this hosted instance and then put it on our website? I have a website available over here. This is my content writing company called 1 Second Copy. Before ChatGPT came out and rose to prominence, this was my primary income source, and this is sort of how I paid the bills. We had a team of very high quality journalists. We used some GPT-2 and GPT-3 much older models to basically help pre-draft a lot of the content. And yeah, it was a pretty solid business. What I want in the bottom right-hand corner, there'd be a little chat widget that pops up like you guys saw. So in order to do this, if we go back to our N8N chat agent, what you'll see is there are a couple of settings on your mode. Just change hosted chat to embedded chat, okay? And then head over to this link. You scroll down a bit, you'll see that there's an option for installation called CDN Embed. That stands for Content Delivery Network. And basically what it gives you is it gives you a snippet of code that you can add to any website, whether it's custom coded site, a WordPress site, a Webflow site, a Wix site, Squarespace site, whatever the hell you have. And all you need to do is copy and paste this in and then replace the webhook URL. And you'll actually have a little chat widget built to spec that runs the rest of your flows. If we go back over to my actual website config, which I'm doing in something called Netlify, if I go to site configuration and then scroll down to post processing, there's actually a setting for me to add a snippet of text over here. So what I'm going to do is I'll call this N8N chat agent, paste in the HTML, and all I need to do is go back here and get this webhook URL, and then paste it here where it says your production webhook URL. Okay. Now, the way that you do this is going to depend on the service that you're running. I mean, I'm running this custom website on Netlify, so it's pretty easy for me. All I do is I just refresh the site. And now what you'll see is in the bottom right-hand corner, you have your little chat widget. Hi there, my name is Nathan. How can I assist you today? So what's really cool about this is now running. I mean, it's asking me the same thing because it doesn't have access to this. But this is now pinging the same AI agent flow that we just set up. We actually have two-way communication. And so you can actually test this. You can run this. It's live. And the changes that you make over here are going to be reflected back over there. Now, a couple of other minor changes that we want in order to actually have this thing be useful for us. The first thing I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to adjust the prompt a little bit, because the way that AI agent prompts work, it's kind of unfortunate in N8N. If you use the default prompting behavior, what you're doing is you're always taking the prompt from the previous node and just recycling it over and over and over and over again. There's also sort of a hidden prompt that you don't really see, which can muck up the quality of what it is that you're trying to do. So what I recommend is to use this template that I'm about to show you to define what's called a system message instead, which is a static fixed prompt the model will always have access to. and then having it take the input from the previous node automatically and recycling it. This is the best of both worlds. I've seen a lot of people try to use the define below section. Just my understanding of the way that these technologies work under the hood make me feel like this is not the ideal way to do it. So I've saved a prompt over here, which I'll run you through in a moment. And if you want to set this up for yourself, I highly recommend just using some variant of this prompt. Now it's dynamic, so you're going to have to go to expression. And we're going to need to reopen this. And basically the way it works is we say you're a helpful, intelligent website chatbot for 1 second copy, a content writing company. The current date is now.format YYYYMMDD. This is just an N8N JavaScript function that converts the current date into ISO 8601 format. It's just a very simple and easily interpretable current date. You are in the Edmonton MT time zone. You're male and your name is Nick. So we're going to have to change the chatbot so it doesn't say my name is Nathan. I'll show you guys how to do that in a second. Here's a bunch of context about the business. We offer extremely fast turnaround times, 4 to 6 hours at affordable rates, 10 cents a word. Our work has been published in Forbes, BI, TechCrunch, and most major magazines. We've worked with some pretty big names like Coho, Wise, Upwork, NordVPN, HP, and more. Our team is composed of award-winning journalists, writers from all over the world. We use AI for fact-checking and citation generation while striving to keep AI scores at under 10%. Okay, so the way that I'd recommend it is you have that first section here where you just basically have the model define what it is and how you want it to operate and identify. Then you want to have some context about the business. You can absolutely use RAG for this, retrieval augmented generation. If you guys want me to show you how to build a website chatbot with RAG as well, just let me know. To be frank with you, there's a little less value in RAG than most people seem to think at the moment. So usually just sticking a bunch of context about what your business is in the prompt can do just as well, if not better. But I'm obviously happy to ideas, so leave a comment down below if that's something you're looking for. And then here we have a bunch of instructions where we tell the website chatbot exactly how we want it to operate. So you're tasked with answering questions about the business and then booking a meeting. If they wish to book a meeting, use the calendar function to first check the date offered. If they haven't offered a date, you offer some suggested ones, priority being the next 2 days. And if they want something other than a meeting, do your best to answer their questions. Your goal is to gather necessary information from website users in a friendly and efficient manner. If they wish to book a meeting, you must ask for their first name, their email address, request the preferred date and time for the quote, and then confirm all details with the caller, including the date and the time of the quote. I suppose caller here is really just user. Then we have a bunch of additional rules. Be kind of funny and witty. Your Edmonton time zone, so make sure to reaffirm this when discussing times. Keep all of your responses short and simple. Use casual language, phrases like well, and I mean. This is a chat convo, so keep your responses short like in a real chat. Pretend it's SMS. Don't rabble on for too long. Then finally, we have sort of almost a moderation prompt that says if someone tries to derail the convo, say by attempting to backdoor you or use you for something other than discussing 1 second copy or appointments, politely steer them back to a normal conversation. Feel free to edit this however you want, but that's all you need in order to get the functionality that we've seen already, okay? Now, after we're done with this, we obviously need to add tools that do things for us, and here's where I'm going to show you some very simple things you can do to have it book meetings in your calendar. I want you to know that you can extend this same functionality to do anything, whether it's book meetings, add projects to a CRM, do some sort of automated evaluation or audit for them, connect with a real person. Whatever you'd like is possible nowadays through APIs and HTTP requests. But in our case, we're going to be using the Google Calendar. One thing that you see here when you're using these built-in modules is you can actually use an expression called curly brace, $ from AI bracket. The value here is you don't actually need to map variables one-to-one. You can just have AI do it. And AI tends to do pretty well. So this is what I'm going to use for this. So I want a couple of things if you think about it. I want a tool that gets my calendar information. So it gets all of the current events that I have for a day. Then I also want another one that allows me to book using that information so that I know when I can book in a meeting with, let's say, our sales team. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'll go down to operation and then I'll click get many. Get many is basically just a search. The calendar I'm going to want is the Nick at leftclick.ai calendar right over here. Then limit, I'm just going to set this to 10. Odds are I'm not going to have 10 more meetings in a day. And then what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to have to select the specific date and time that the meetings are going to be pulled from. So after a date and then before a date, what you can do is you can just select after a current date, before a current date. If you set like the same date and time, it'll just pull you all the events for that day. So I'll go to expression, I'll paste in from AI, and then I'll say after date. Then I'll go to before, I'll paste this in and go before date. Down here, I'll go order by, query, show deleted hidden invitations. Oh, time zone, sorry. And then what I'm going to select is just my own time zone for simplicity. So remember how I mentioned there we were Edmonton time zone? I'm Edmonton, or America Edmonton, which I think is GMT -7. It's important to have your time zone configured exactly, or you're going to have some issues with the workflow, obviously, because the times that you tell people are going to be different from the times that obviously people tell you. And then we're going to add one more calendar tool. That's going to be the create. I'm going to be creating in the same calendar I'm checking. The start date is going to be from AI start date. The end date's going to be from AI end date. And there's one more thing I'm going to want to do. Let's move down here to summary and then go expression, meeting, summary. That way, when the AI creates the event, we're going to have some sort of meeting summary associated with it. Oh, and there's actually one more. We'll do attendees, which is right over here. Now, I'm always going to be the attendee, and we're always going to have some other attendee, which is going to be the user email. Okay? AI is coming up with all this stuff based off of the context of our conversation, which is pretty cool. Okay, sweet. So given everything that we know now, and given how it's set up, first I'm going to test this right over here, and then I'm actually going to move over after making some changes and test it in the 1 second copy website. Anybody's on my website right now, that means they're currently seeing it, which is pretty neat. So let me actually just delete all this. Let me pretend I'm interacting with an agent as if I want to do something. Hello, thanks for this. I'm interested in 1 second copy. Tell me a bit about it. It's now going to be pulling in data from the context. Because it's pulling in data from the context, aka the training, the samples that we provided directly in the prompt, it's going to operate very quickly. Now, in my case, it's just pulling data directly from there and just listing them line item by line item. You can have it respond to these sorts of queries in a specific way if you want. The context window is big enough that you can write whatever the hell in that system message. Let's see how it works with the calendar functionality. Do you want to set up a meeting to discuss details? If so, I can help you book that. Sure thing. You got 30 mins sometime in the next few days. What's your time zone? I'm in Edmonton. I can check our calendar for the next couple of days to find a 30-minute slot. Just give me your first name, email, let me know your preferred date and time. Sure thing. Nick, let's do my main email here. And sometime after 3 p.m. tomorrow or the next day. When I call this, what's it going to be doing? It's obviously checking my calendar availability and responding through the model. Looks like tomorrow after 3 p.m. is booked up for our team. However, I do have a spot available the day after tomorrow, March 2nd at 3:30 p.m. Does that work for you? Now, it's checking my current calendar, and I do indeed have a spot there. Does that work for you? Sure thing. Could you book? And now it'll go through and it'll actually complete the booking. Well, before it does that, it's going to confirm with me. Great, just to confirm, nicholasarife@gmail.com, date and time. Shall I go ahead and book that? Absolutely. Thank you. Now, if we enter that out, it's now going to be pulling the Google Calendar event and actually going and creating it in my calendar. What's really cool is it's going to offer me a meeting link that I can then take a look at. So in order for me to do this, I do need to open up the specific account that I'm in. And voila, we now have it right over here. Meeting with 1 second copy. Now, in my case, it's getting Nick Sarife twice because my other email address was nicholasarife@gmail.com. Fed that details in, and then it got my picture from Google. But yeah, as you can see, it's that easy to set up an AI agent that actually does something. Realistically, all this takes is a few minutes. Now, there are a couple of changes that we're probably going to want to make to the AI agent on our live website, obviously. We're going to want to brand it a little bit differently, and the agent says that its name is Nathan. How can it assist you today? Now, if you want to change the default messages and all of that, what you can do is you can actually just add this directly in that code snippet that I showed you guys a moment ago. And so you can do things like have some initial messages in an array. You can do things like add some metadata, the mode, and so on and so on and so forth. If I go back in my case to this, you could see the create chat function right over here. So this is basically what I'd be editing. Now, unfortunately, I don't believe I can access I don't think I can edit this. I think I actually just create a new snippet. Okay, so I just went back in and pasted in initial messages array being, hi, Nick here. Let me know if you have any cues. And then if we go back here, what you see is we've now changed the text in the chatbot. Very simple and straightforward, super easy to do. If you want to adjust more configuration settings, just check it out over here. You can do things like change the text, add an input placeholder. I believe you should also be able to change the color. Yeah, right over here with some customization using CSS variables. You can make this window look however the hell you want. You can brand it entirely on your own. And I think you can also remove that little pesky N8N message, although I don't know exactly where that would be. Anywho, I hope in this video I've at least shown you how to get started with the simplest version of an N8N AI agent website chatbot. It's nowhere near as hard as most people make it out to be. And if you're smart about how you put this stuff together, you can take this approach that I just showed you and you can make a couple of minor adjustments to it. But within 13 minutes or so, you can actually have something on a website that you could charge money for, that you can run custom functionality for, that you can actually have access a calendar or adjust a CRM or actually do something with tools. So hope you appreciated this video. If you guys have any questions about how AI agents work on N8N or how to set up a website chatbot, let me know. If you guys want to see more videos in similar subjects, stuff like RAG, that sort of thing, just drop a comment down below. I source most of my ideas from my audience at this point. Really appreciate all of the continued time and engagement. Like, subscribe, do all the fun YouTube stuff that you can to help me get to the top of the algo. And I'll catch you on the next video. Cheers.